What's up, guys? Um, this is going to be my second and last video on CM Punk. I've seen lots of video responses, a couple of comments on my video. If you've not seen it recently, check it out. It did cause a little bit of a stir. And to be honest with you, I'm just going to go out and say it. I reiterate it. I feel as though people are making far too much of a big deal of it. I think if he wants to go, then let him go. Like, the product is far bigger than CM Punk. And I understand that he is made this to send a message to WWE Creative about Daniel Bryan, but to be honest with you, I actually 100% agree with Sledge Daddy's video. 100%. And I don't often agree with him 100%, but this one, I completely agree with him. If you haven't checked it out already, go to Off the Rope Show and watch his video on the CM Punk situation. This one is going to be my final video on this situation because I don't really feel like I need to talk about it anymore. How I would like the WWE to deal with this situation. I don't think you can risk the fans hijacking the show with CM Punk chants. I think, to be honest, it will do it. They'll do it anyway. But I think to avoid the commentators in an awkward situation, the WWE needs to send out a strong message. If they can't get CM Punk back, I can imagine. I actually agree with what Stone Cold's saying. I can imagine if Vince has gone down to wherever CM Punk's at and had a conversation with him to see if they could get him back. If they can't get him back, what I do is very similar to the Stone Cold situation where Stone Cold just went home. I'd send out an even stronger message than that. I'd have Vince McMahon himself come to the middle of the ring, not say a single word. Not have a single music, not in the Mr. McMahon character, as Vince, addressing the crowd and addressing the situation, talking about how difficult it has been to work with CM Punk over the past few years, about how difficult it has been managing CM Punk from a PR standpoint, and how difficult this situation has been, and just addressing it. Sometimes you just got to address the situation head on and be steadfast and send out a strong message, and just have Vince McMahon come out with all sorts of statements saying how he wants the WWE to attempt to move past this. Now, I'm not shutting the door out on CM Punk at all, but I'm very disappointed that someone who is under contract with the WWE could just walk out, could just take his ball and go home, is the popular phrase in the WWE. And to be honest, and that's the message that I would drive home to the audience at home, to the audience there. They're going to chant him no matter what, but I think by doing that, you address the situation. You don't allow the situation to simmer on because you attempt to ignore it. And then what I'd do is I'd have John Cena come out. And I'd have him come out, again, not this John Cena, PG, kiddie, Superman, hero character. I'm talking about John Cena, the man. Come out there, address the situation from a performer standpoint, and say that, that basically delivering a message, again, not just to the audience, but to every single person at the back. The main purpose of this being that you want to drive home the idea that CM Punk, you don't want to create a hero or a martyr out of CM Punk. You want to address the situation and say that CM Punk has left and has deserted the fans. That's the message you want to drive home to everybody. Because I'm not being funny enough. If it comes from the WWE, the likelihood is that the fans won't believe it anyway. But it's the message that you drive home to not only your fan base, for the people who will believe it, but the guys at the back, that we're not going to tolerate it. You're not going to hold us at ransom just because we've put you at a big time spot. This has happened twice now in the space of 12 years. You need to address it and say, all right, you might not necessarily like an idea that we do, because we don't do that in our everyday lives. You know, how many people like their fucking company? Genuinely like every decision their company makes. If you tell me that you do, you're a fucking liar. You're an absolute liar. No one likes every decision that their company makes. But a lot of people don't just go home because they don't like a decision that they've made. I don't like a lot of the bullshit that WWE is doing. A lot of the bullshit. But if I worked there, I'm not going to take my ball and go home. And I think that's the thing that really pisses me off. That's why I read the story and I was just like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. And I think people didn't understand my first video. Like, I had a comment on there that said, oh well, you should give a fuck that talent is deserting, is leaving the WWE. I would care if talent is leaving the WWE. But I don't care if someone is choosing to leave the WWE because they don't like something that the business is doing. There's a big fucking difference. It's a selfish decision. Selfish decision. He, like anyone else would do, should have spoken to their bosses if they had a real concern. I mean, my days, if that's the biggest problem, your contract's up in the summer, why not just go until the summer and say, you know what, I don't really like the creative direction, I'd like to leave for a couple of months. The power's with you. You still have your respect, you still have your dignity. You come back in a couple of months when you're refreshed, you're healed up. That's the respectable way of doing it. And to me, and that's why I would like to see someone like a John Cena reinforce that to the boys and say, you know what, similar job like The Rock did. So he basically has the Rock role and basically say, you know, you can get the F out type of message, which The Rock gave in '02. Just deliver that message and say that anyone who's not happy needs to leave. And then you basically give that message and then you start Raw. It's as simple as that. I think no matter what, you're going to have people that chant CM Punk, but you may just lessen those chants with that idea. You send a strong message to the back, you send a strong message to the public, you send a strong message to the stakeholders, and you say that we are not in a crisis because of one individual. We are not in a crisis, 7, 8 weeks ahead of our biggest show of the year. We are not in a crisis. And that is the message you need to send to your fan base, to your stakeholders, to your performers, to your rest of your employees, and to the WWE universe. Anyway, I just had to get that off my chest. That is the final video I'm doing with CM Punk, because the way I see it, just like Stone Cold did back in the day, he deserted us. So why the fuck are we still talking about this bullshit? Alright, take care.